All right. I think we're live. I'm not sure. Maybe. Let's see here. Facebook says I'm live. All right. So Aaron Scott or Scott Aaron Rogers. Okay. Hi. You can see me and I can hear myself, so you can hear me. So we're Scott's going to be joining us in about 20 minutes, but I thought I'd at least kick off the live stream. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, I think we're live again. We had some technical difficulties, but I think we're back. Let me get logged into Facebook now. I got kicked out of everything. Okay, I think I got it. Yay. Yes. I had to check to make sure we're live. Mm. Okay. It does say that we are live. Whew. All right. Hello again. This is a late night episode, so 18 plus. I will be smoking, as the title says. Politics and poker does make the average guy a heavy smoker. Mainly smokes. Hopefully, Scott Aaron Rodgers will be coming by at some point. He was stuck in the middle of nowhere for a long time without any service. So, well, I've got a little bit of a prompter running. So, we're going to cover a few things. This is not scripted, it'll never be scripted. But let's start, I guess, with an introduction. I'm Reese. I'm running for Indiana State House District 53. This is my podcast, Politics and Poker. It's a pseudo campaign, pseudo personal podcast. All opinions expressed here are the opinions of the campaign, or at least my opinions of the campaign. I might say some things that my social media and media people don't like, but screw up. Actually, fuck them. That's right. We're using the F bomb here. And so, yeah, you're going to hear some raw, unfiltered truths that I believe. If you've noticed, I do have a different hair color. I just dyed it sort of a purpley reddy. I mixed some colors. I really like it. I think it'll look great in pictures. Um, Scott should be joining us in about 10 minutes. So we have that to look forward to. Oh, always the one. Separate it out. So yeah, so I'm a progressive populist. I'm running on a message for and by the people. I'm going to be hosting a lot of town halls and stuff like that, and I want to hear from you guys about what's important to you. And so yeah. See, what's the next thing? Well, this is my first time doing this. This also is acting as my pilot episode for my for politics and poker. We're going to hopefully spin this up into a regular weekly, several times a week podcast. But Scott Aaron Rodgers, who does Who's Left, agreed to hop on for about an hour um, and chit chat away. So we're going to be having him. We're going to talk podcasting, and then also I'm going to interview him a little bit. So, first thing we're going to talk about is um, running as a young person. So I'm 21. I'll be turning 22 here in a little less than a month. I have a birthday bash on the 5th. I'll be mentioning it again at some point. But I've got that going on, and then what else? I've got a couple other events. So just check out Reese for Indiana slash I think events. Or sorry, not Reese for Indiana. This is also what you get for a live unfolded podcast. You get it. You get. I can't edit that out. It's reese453.org, um, which I just realized is a hilarious play because it's for District 53, but 535. Ah, I'm 100 short. 435 is how many electoral votes there are. Um, so no, it's 453.org/events. You can see all my events. I've got a couple. I've got one tomorrow at the library. Um, so yeah, what else is going on? I don't think anything else is going on in terms of that stuff. So I'll get back to running as a young person. Running as a young person is really challenging. I feel like I constantly have to prove myself, especially to older people. And that can get tiring at times because I know that I have done a lot in my lifetime. Sure, maybe not as much as them, but I've done a lot in my lifetime that I think warrants at least being able to skip the whole "I need to prove myself" um, aspect. And so yeah, there's that, and then with that comes money. Um, it takes a lot to convince people that I'm trustworthy enough to have money. Bluntly, and and so that makes things really difficult for me because money politics is a money game, and I ultimately need money to win. And if I can't convince people to donate to my campaign to to uh, there we go. Okay. Uh, money. If I can convince people to donate to my campaign, that's the only way I can prove to people that I'm trustworthy enough. And so it's like that cyclical, never-ending cycle. Um, and so that's really hard. I've met a lot of great people, no doubt about it, who are young like me, who are energetic like me, and I think that that is a really good thing and shows a really good potential for uh, the future of Indiana. Because let's be frank and real. Like, future of Indiana doesn't look too bright right now. Hell, the future of the nation doesn't look too bright. And if we have young people tackling problems, we can really make a difference in the future. I mean, I always think of the classic, we didn't start the fire. I agree with that, but I think that we have a chance to at least tamp down the fire in a lot of areas. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? This would be really awkward if you can't hear it because right now I'm playing politics and poker. All right. If anybody wants to play poker online with me for not real money, link in the description or the comments. We'll be hopefully Scott will join. And as the name suggests, we'll play politics. We'll talk politics and play poker. Afraid he just wouldn't sell. Nobody likes a candidate whose name they can't spell. All right. Hopefully Scott will be. It's 7 o'clock, so hopefully Scott will be joining us here soon. If he doesn't, we can just start anyways. All right. So we already talked about running as a young person, but I see that we already talked about running as a young person, but I see that there are some more people. So I'll give that spiel again. So running as a young person, I'm 21. I see Julian Franklin in the uh, watching. Hello, if you'd like to come on, I'll drop the link for you. Um, but yeah, uh, so yeah, it's I constantly feel like I have to run a campaign first to prove myself before they'll even give me that chance to run and be recognized as their candidate, which is really hard. And I'm fine with that. But I wish I didn't have to, and I wish other candidates who are young didn't have to first prove themselves. And we could actually run a race that isn't just half proving ourselves. Hey, Scott's here.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, just another day in the show, Reese. Good to see you, man.
I feel that. You too. Well, welcome to the inaugural live stream slash pilot episode, even though I do have episode one already out and episode two recorded. But I figured, hey, first time having a guest on, so might as well do a pilot live stream. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'm glad to help out for sure, man.
Yeah, no, I'd love I'm just doing my spiel on being a young person running. And I think I don't know if you can like relate, but you've probably heard this. Like half of the time I feel at these events that I'm at, it's just me proving myself. Like
Yeah.
as a
Like, who the
young
hell's this
person.
kid?
Yeah, who's this kid who thinks he can run for something? And it's like I get it. We want to vet candidates, but also like, come
Yeah.
on. I've done a lot. And so I
Well,
don't know.
yes, and like you're a person, right, who has to live in this
Yeah.
world, and therefore, like your opinion is valid, and if it if your message resonates with people, then that's as good a qualification as any. Listen, there's plenty of people you can point to in elected office now and in the past who they have no, quote unquote qualifications to
Oh
be there.
yeah. I mean, come on, let's just talk Jefferson Shreve, right? I mean,
All accounts, a fantastic
his
business
his,
owner.
his yeah. Well, I mean, as fantastic as one is running a self-service business that is a storage unit. Like I find that funny.
Uh, Okay,
I
so listen,
really
that's
think
yeah, yeah. No, his little well, not little. It's $500 million business, but his business, was based in Bloomington here, where I'm at, and
right.
I know people who have used his facilities,
Which one is
and
it? Is it safe storage or
it's
self-storage?
Storage Express, maybe, which
Okay.
yeah, the blue ones. But he sold the company to a Utah-based firm. I don't know, just within the last couple
Hmm.
years for something like $500 million, and that's extra space storage. And they're the lime green ones, and their branding is starting to you know take over the blue ones. But
Right.
anyway, still, that's neither here
But
nor
at
there. But
least but
anyway,
at
I know
least he
people
cannot
who
say,
have
"Look,
used his facilities, right?
I can vote on self-storage regulations because I don't own a self-storage company anymore." Wink, wink.
Well, yes,
Sorry,
he
just
owns
me being a
many, many, many shares
cynical
of the
person.
company to which he sold his. Yes.
Oh, this wasn't even on my, but we can go on a spiel about insider trading. I mean, come on. I heard
And
it, so I don't know if you're a, oh, go for it.
no, I was
You're
going to say
frozen
it's
on my
not. That's
screen.
not just Republicans.
Sorry, you were frozen and now I don't see you.
Am I still here?
I can hear you. Can you try
Why?
restarting your camera?
I will reset myself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, while Scott's resetting himself, I was gonna plug another podcast, the Pod Save America Bros. Um, and I was listening to one of their Monday episode. Ah, perfect. Scott's back. I can see you. You are not frozen, and I can probably hear you.
Oh yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Good. Okay. Do you listen to Pod Save America by any chance?
I used to, um, and they're fine at what they do. They just have sort of gotten crowded out of my podcast lineup right now. I don't
Right.
have
Yeah. I
like
mean,
beef with
they're
them, but they are very much like kind of like
right.
normie
Your
Democrats.
your
Um,
standard.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would really consider them to be sort of the godfathers of the progressive. I mean, as much as you want to stretch progressive, depending on how you see it, like progressive podcasting ecosystem. Without them, I don't really think we'd have Midas Touch, which I have. I genuinely have my beefs with Midas Touch. Um, I don't know if you agree, but I think they're really clickbaity. Um,
they have good content, but their presentation, their headlines, are their titles on their
I
videos are very clickbaity. But
it's to the
it's
point where
sort
I
of
don't
like the
even
game you got to
watch
play,
their videos.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to the point where like it's turned me off from them. I used to be a heavy listener of theirs, but like once they really started clickbaiting, I'm just like, I want a podcast that will be as partisan as I like it, but at least do it with a headline that isn't, Donald Trump dead, question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation mark. Like, like I don't know. That's just my personal preference. It obviously works because they've got 4 million subscribers.
I believe they've surpassed Rogan as the most popular, like their most downloaded podcast. So, I mean, again,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, I don't love the way they get people in the door, but they do have good content. I know
Yeah, and some
Max
of
from
their
UNFDR has been doing some work for them, and
yeah,
they give
and some
him
of
a
like
lot
the
of
lawyer guy, I think the
space.
lawyer
Yeah,
guy they have on, Mark Elias.
Mark Elias is great. Yeah.
Yes. And then Brian Tyler Cohen, obviously. I think he did something really smart where he made a separate channel with non-clickbaity headlines.
Hmm.
Same videos, non-clickbaity headlines. Um, but anyway, this this was a roundabout way of me getting back to the whole insider trading thing. I was listening to the Pod Bros' Monday episode, um,
Yeah.
and I think it was John, who always cracks the jokes, and uh, or no, not John. Yeah, John. It's always hard to keep up with their names. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
No, they're all good, content creators and
oh, of
talented in
course.
their own right. Yeah, for sure.
But he made a joke of, because they were talking about the upcoming Congress shutdown that's maybe going to happen. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, you can't insider trade if you're not in Congress knowing what to insider trade on. And I'm like, damn, that's funny and true. And I mean, he's right. Like, what are the odds? I mean, that's a very cynical look, right? But like, how many you know that at least one or two of those representatives have at least thought about that, like Nancy Pelosi, not gonna call her, whatever, but there's proven facts that she insider traded.
She's the most high profile, and it galls us, especially, I think, because she's supposed to be, she's a Democrat. She's supposed to be one of the, quote unquote good ones. Like we're supposed to
Yeah,
hold ourselves to a higher standard. And, and she's leadership, right? Um, or was.
emeriti now, but well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, she says jump, and most of the party will say yes, ma'am. How high?
Still very powerful within the caucus for
Yeah,
sure.
and so like I mean, politics nowadays, especially among younger people, is cynical because we just, you know, we've seen everything. And we're like, yeah, this is kind of some bullshit if I've ever seen it. And I don't know. Part of me is like, well, I can't be too cynical because cynicism has its place in moderation. But you get to the point where you're just like everything's awful. Everything's pointless. What's the point in doing anything? It's like, okay, hold on. And so I've got to do my cynicism in moderation, but I also think the only way that people listen to us is if we tap into that cynicism and say, "Hey, I hear you."
Yeah, it's like yes, and like you have to tap into the cynicism for sure,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But
one of
then
the things my
also
therapist and I
you
talk
have
about all the
to
time.
especially as someone who's seeking office, you have to paint a positive picture of the future
Future.
and say, hey, maybe like these are the things we could do if we work together, if you believe in me, and yada yada yada. The things politicians have to say.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't just the diagnosis that things are rigged and they suck is not enough. At least I didn't think so. I mean, it does appear to be enough for a lot of Trump supporters. Like, the
Well,
system's
I mean,
rigged.
it's
It's totally rigged.
look, listen, it's like if your doctor came in and was like, "Hey, you got a broken arm. See ya." Walks out the door. It's like, okay, thanks, doc. You gonna set it for me?" Right? It's like we have these people who just point out shit's fucked up. Yeah. Ding ding ding, 10 points to Captain Obvious. And then we have the people who are like shit's fucked up and here's what I'm going to do to unfuck it up.
Your
And
generation,
whether
yeah.
whether like honest in all honesty, politics is to the point where whether that's a right wing or left wing idea, I'll take it. Like I won't, obviously vote for something like, deport all migrants to fix our economy crisis. But it's like at least you have an idea and aren't just sitting there and saying the system's broken, let's tear it down.
I always talk about it like this, Reese. Okay, so here, what I do during the day between 9 and 5 is I'm an independent contractor, right? I do a lot of light construction, painting, drywall, some
Been there,
carpentry,
done
some trim
that.
work, yeah, a little of this, a little of that, right? Whatever. But the
Yep.
point is like, um, we're about fixing things, right? About diagnosing a problem, cutting out cutting out the bad, salvaging what we can, and
Hmm.
putting things back together in a way that'll work.
And even if
And
that means like oh yeah, even if that means tearing, spending a couple hours tediously needling out a small piece, to save the homeowner a couple $100. That's what you do. Um
yeah, right. But then there's times where, maybe you're doing a job for a landlord and they just want to like slap something over it.
and it's
And
like,
you're like, listen, that might help for a little bit, but it's not going to actually fix the problem. And
oh my gosh,
um,
we've
a
yeah,
lot of, I think, yeah.
we just pivoted into one of my things with the roads. I don't remember if I went on that on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but there are two ways to fix roads: patching and filling slash patching and actually repaving. And it's just
Hmm.
like that landlord analogy you used. Like, you can paper over, put a couple layers of wallpaper or whatever over a leak. Well, that leak's going to come back in a couple months. You can fill or patch a segment of the highway, going to come back in a couple years.
Hmm.
Instead, but it takes that hard work. And being a contractor, I do weeds right now. I'm looking to get into like more general contracting, but I do weeds. And like, so I get it. Like, you got to be precise. You got to take the time to go in my case, get to the root on there
Mm-hmm.
of the problem and pull it up. And you also got to know what's root, what is grass and what is a weed, or what's a plant and what's a weed.
Exactly. Listen, so if you want to carry that analogy forward, right? Listen, I like the home ownership. It's like, okay, like remodel or blow it up and rebuild, right? Well, and the weed analogy, right? Like, listen, you can go into somebody's garden, right? You got your nice flowers. That's your beautiful country or whatever, your society, right? You got some, well, then you get some weeds in there, right? You got your problems that are plaguing your society. And yeah, okay, so there's a couple solutions. You can go in there, you can cut the weed, right? And or pull it up at the surface, and it goes away for a little bit, but then you got to come back again. It just keeps coming back and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can attack the problem at the root, or you can do the MAGA solution, which is to come in there with some like Roundup and kill everything,
I was gonna
right?
go with a tiller. I was gonna say, or you could do the Doge solution and just go into that bed with a tiller, go, and I mean, look, they're not. I wasn't even going to talk about this because I like to keep mine local and state focused. But I think, but like, obviously, all of us are intertwined, and so what happens at one level can carry over to another level. And I remember, I think it was one of the cabinet meetings where Elon Musk is, looking like a dork in his hat and his like looks like the take your kid to work day, like has his little blazer on that he definitely borrowed from dad. Uh, got his little, jokey shirt, and he's standing there, like he does, we've sure we might accidentally kill some plants if we're going with that analogy, but we
Yeah,
got the weeds out, and it's like, all right, dude, but some of those plants are my grandmother's rose buds that you just tore up. That's all I had left of her. Thanks. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, oh, you got rid of uh what was their final total? I mean, they bullshitted everything, but it was like a
No,
couple
well, the
billion
whole Doge thing wound
dollars.
up costing money. They didn't save anything.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying I'm asking for their savings because
Oh,
they had the website. It's they saved us 50 whatever $50 million, whatever they want to claim, or 50 billion. But how much is it in lawsuits, rehiring, PR? How many people now are applying for government work? Sure, you've got a lot of
lost
MAGA
institutional
hard.
knowledge is priceless. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a lot of the hardcore MAGA people applying. It's like, what about the doctors who are like, you know what? I could take either a position at Eli Lilly, get paid $500,000 a year to develop some research that I'm passionate about. Or I could work for the government who might fire me, might then rehire me, then fire me again. I might have to get a lawyer. Definitely going to have to get some security if I'm a high profile. And it's like, after you start talking to yourself, it's like that $500 million, no matter how passionate you are, sounds so tempting.
Well, and then again, a lot of this with at the with MAGA and with the Christian nationalists and Project 2025 and all that. It's not even about, oh no, we're going to lose the experts. They don't care about the expertise. They
They want them
only
gone.
want sycophancy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you don't have to even look to this that far to the CGC, right? Like RFK installs this woman. I know jack shit about her. I don't know if she how MAGA she is, but she was a doctor, right? She resigns because RFK apparently said he asked her point blank if she was a honest and trustworthy person, and she said
Mm-hmm.
no. Like, sure, you
Who says
asshole.
that? Yeah, yeah.
The late night shows had a rip with that one, but
Yeah, she lasted a month. A month. Um
but
and
we've
yeah,
gone
again,
now we've gone now past the these are the Biden appointees we're rooting out. It's now these are our loyalists who we put in, who we thought would be sycophants, but aren't kissing the ring hard enough.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it's
I
like
don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
scary. It's like so scary because it's like, what are they going to come up with next? And who's going to be next? How many times are they going to fire somebody until they get the perfect person?
And yeah, I mean, well, just look at the actual cost in terms of people's lives that this is going to lead to. You've got
We don't even have to look to it. We're seeing it. I mean, I
yeah.
don't think Indiana has gotten any of the big scary things, but what, Texas, Florida? What, Texas, the Florida Surgeon General just did his
Yes.
RFK Jr.
Yes.
audition to be undersecretary for let's give everybody measles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Yeah, we just talked about this Sunday morning on the show. He says, you know what? No more vaccine mandates. Who am I to tell you what you should or shouldn't put in your body? You're the Surgeon General, bro. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
and text notes, didn't you say you had to carry that baby in your body?
Oh well, yeah. Well, not to mention, like oh, so you can can you put a dick in your ass? They're gonna tell you can't do that.
Can you here's another one. Can you make wine at home? I made this. This is my first time trying it and making wine. I'm pretty happy. Can like eventually are they going to come for this? Are they going to come for your marriage? Are they going to come for your bedroom time? Are they going to come for your whatever they might do because I mean, look, you're a podcaster, you're smart. You know your oh, what are they called? Debate tactics, the slippery slope, the gish gallop. You know all that, and
Yeah.
people like to be like, "Oh, you're just alarmist," and it's like a slippery slope. It's like, love, we're on a sled going down that slope right now. We started up here with grab him by the pussy, and now we're heading to let's give everybody measles. And it's
Well,
like,
yeah. All the
eh,
people
eh,
who were like, their hair was on fire in 2015 and 2016, saying, "Hey, man, this guy is like talking like an authoritarian. He's not going to leave." They were right. The alarmists were right.
yep. I don't think we can always be alarmist because that's just distrusting everything, which is how Trump won. But that's another podcast, and paper probably. But we're like, it's evident. I think the U.S. is in a lucky situation. I know, hard to imagine I'd say something like that. In the fact that we're a two party dominant system, I really like to sort of be the overseas observer of European politics.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the far right are making their rise because that's where people are going to right now. It's not just a US problem.
Right.
And what that ends up doing is that creates big far right parties. Like in Germany, basically Nazis again.
Yeah.
And then that
Yeah.
causes people like the ADF in Germany, which is the
AFD.
CDF,
Yeah.
the CDF, the Christian Democratic Front or whatever,
Yeah. Oh,
to
yeah. Yeah.
start
Yeah. Yeah.
going more to the left to chase those voters because that's the only way they can stay in power. We're kind of lucky enough to have a two-party system where yeah, we've got the libertarians and yeah, we sure we've got like but most of the infighting happens on an inter-party scale. And so
Yeah.
yeah, the one party can go really far one way, but at the same time, I feel, and I could be totally wrong, but there are some safeguards, at least in terms of like sprinting in that direction. Because, it can take some time for an insurgency to play out in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I don't know.
Our
Do you agree with that?
yeah.
Like,
Our federal system, I think, in this country, the way so much power is delegated to the states is both a strength and a hindrance, depending on the way things
What?
are. Because,
Yeah.
listen, I think that um, a strong, well-intentioned federal government, if you look at the post-World War II years, the way things were on the upswing, you look at the way the Supreme Court and I think the Eisenhower and Kennedy and Johnson administrations, dragged the South into the 20th century. At
Yeah.
that point, um, with that can only be done with a strong federal government. But Eisenhower and Kennedy also, you know, you look at now, you're glad that we have some state power left, and because the only resistance to the Trump regime you're seeing is in places like California and Illinois and New York to a lesser extent. Um,
Huh.
and
Well, what do
those
you?
governors have
I've got a.
resources that they wouldn't necessarily have if we had a even more
Yeah.
powerful federal government. So yeah,
Yeah.
it,
What
it,
do
it, it
you?
takes and it gives.
Talking about New York, I mean, we've obviously got the New York City problem because that's Eric Adams, and Eric Adams is a kiss ass. But like Kathy Hochul, on that same front, Kathy Hochul hasn't been very vocal. Neither, like, and then we want to get even more anal. Like Zora Mamdani shocked everybody, winning in I think the fourth round or something.
He won on
Was he
the
first
first ballot.
round?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like Jeffries and Schumer, both prominent Democrats, have not done shit. And
I thought we're supposed to vote blue no matter
oh,
who,
this
guys.
goes to my like having to prove yourself. He's having to prove. Yeah. It's bullshit. But I wonder, do you think that governors in states who it's not as much of we go blue always are doing a better job than governors in states who are like, as long as I'm a Democrat, I'm fine. Like, I'm thinking Newsom. Newsom's trolling. Fucking hate it. But he's trolling. And he can
There's
troll
a place
because he
for what he's
doesn't.
doing, but I don't think he has, in the end, any a message any more substantive than "I'm just trolling Trump."
Well, okay,
Yeah, he's a snake for
here's
sure.
my thing. I think if we had somebody with the following and who's willing to be a martyr, somebody like what's Toby Maguire? Is that the who's the
No,
guy?
he's the kid who was the Superman, and he looks like he's 12
No,
years
yeah,
old. Yeah.
no, the guy who his Instagram handles like that world clown or something who buys up all of the um different web domains. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do not know what you're talking about
Okay.
now.
This guy, he was some creator of some network show.
Yeah.
He's gone on a complete trolling mission. Buys up all these Republican domains. Like he's bought like MarshaBlackburn.com, like
Oh, that's
the name,
great.
and it makes like just satire. And like, so if we had somebody with that like genius and satiricalness mixed with like a public person who uh has the profile of Newsom, and like the thing with him, not Newsom, the other guy, he's willing to be a martyr. Like he gets hate emails all the time, and he basically responds "fuck you."
Yeah.
Um, and so like he knows he's not doing this right. Newsom's doing this so that he can win the Democratic primary in
Yes.
26. That's
Yes.
yeah, 26. No, not 28. Ooh. That's why he's doing this.
I
In
know
all
he.
honesty.
Yeah.
And but like Pritzker, he hasn't announced anything. He has to rely on more Republicans to get elected in Illinois just because of how Illinois is. And then you've got the
I mean, he
Texas
does and
Democrats.
doesn't.
Yeah, but I think he's also a savvier politician, and he's proven that he can work across the aisle. So I think my
Pritzker
point, or
actually, I
the
think, is
point
has
I'm
been far
on,
better than Newsom in amidst
yeah,
all this. Like he actually, I think, has some substance. Yeah, I see, um, potential like low key FDR potential in Pritzker, just because he is a billionaire, right? He's one of them. He is a class trader, just like FDR in his day. I mean, he was a rich
mm-hmm.
New York, you know, upper echelon,
Isn't he like a
gilded age
socialite sort of
socialite,
person?
and yeah, and yet, you know, he was a class trader to his billionaire class, and we could use
Oh yeah,
something
Pritzker can
like
do,
that now.
and like Pritzker also doesn't have to worry about money because he can and has self-funded stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but let's move on from the chit chatting because you've got about a half hour because I think you've got another podcast or something you're doing, whatever, finishing up
I got
stuff.
to
I
put
get.
out this week's show. Yeah.
Well, take snippets from this if you want. More than welcome to have anything from this for any future episodes. Um, but I wanted to ask about occupying that progressive podcasting ecosystem. Are you? I checked your Substack. You've got like how many followers on that?
Well, let's see. Subscribers or followers, I guess. There's different yeah,
Nod
levels
page,
of
just the people
whatnot.
who put their info in and say, "I want to get it in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
mail."
yeah. No, we got a couple thousand. Yeah.
Are you one of the largest Indiana-based political, like progressive podcasts? Would you say?
Um,
Like,
but I
I
don't know.
don't
I
know
think
of
I
any
would,
other. Like, I mean, you've got Dana. Okay, you've got Dana Black, and then you've got McDermott.
and they both do good stuff. Yeah, in their own spaces. Listen, Dana works with Act Blue, and she does great work. Connecting candidates to resources to help them raise funds, and that's awesome. She does a lot of fantastic candidate interviews. She is
Yeah.
tied to the party in a way, and can't
Oh, very
necessarily
much.
say bad things about the party when they need to be said sometimes. And again, I get that. I respect that. She's doing the work however she can, and everybody's got to pick a lane and do what you can to push this
Yep.
thing in the direction we're all trying to
And
go.
we need the allies in the party to help us insurgents sort of do things behind the scenes.
We need both. We need both for sure. I find it important to maintain a certain level of distance. But look, I mean, I'm a precinct committee person in my local Democratic Party. I mean, it's just you do what you can where you can. But yeah, Mayor Tom does good stuff. He's maybe more of a centrist than I am, but again, these are folks that we're going to agree with a lot of the time, and that's fine. But we do have a lot of other
Yeah.
um,
So
people in the content making space. Maybe not necessarily podcasts, though. We do have. Listen, I just want to shout out the people, Project Next down in Southern Indiana, Sarah Blessing, Tim Peck. They do a lot of great. They're putting out stuff all the time. Corinne Straight does amazing stuff. She does a lot of stuff on like Instagram and TikTok, a lot of short form stuff. But
mhm.
her and Sarah Blessing do a weekly podcast too, a long form thing, and it's also really good. So, there's a handful of us out there. Josh Lowry up in Hamilton County. He's their county chair. and a
Mm-hmm.
constitutional law professor. And like a foster father and or like an adopted father
Yeah,
to
no,
5 kids. I
Josh
don't
is
know where, but like
awesome.
this guy, yeah, I don't know when this guy sleeps, but yeah, because he does it all and looks good doing it. It's not
But
fair
yeah,
to say that
so
for the rest of us, buddy. But
yeah, yeah. So tell me what it's like occupying this space, especially in sort of a twofold ecosystem. One, the ecosystem of Indiana, and then two, the ecosystem of the online podcast political commentary realm.
it's focusing on Indiana, is in a way intentionally limiting one's potential reach, right? I mean, listen, I'm only talking to the 8 million or whatever Hoosiers that there are, instead of the 350 million Americans or whatever. Um, so yeah, um, I'm not as worried about width of reach as I am about like depth of reach. You know,
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Like, you're a contractor, so you're not, and none of us are really doing this for the Tim Pool bucks, right?
there ain't
And
that money
and so
out
it's
here, and if there is, you got to worry about it. Like, look, you
yeah,
mentioned Brian Tyler Cohen a little bit ago, and he's got that chorus initiative. It's like a thing for maybe left of center creators. Well, that's great. We need the people lifting up other content creators in this space, but we have to be transparent about it. And there's some potential shadiness going on there. Like, I don't want to be reliant on dark money or something, right? Like, I want to
no,
know, I get people subscribe to me, $5 a month or $50 a year at a time. I'm not uh worried about pleasing some billionaire or potential sponsor or something. It's
yeah,
not like you said. No, ain't nobody making money on it here. It is not about the bucks. It is about moving the Overton window and pushing real progressive ideas into the discourse.
yeah, absolutely, and that like opens us up to do a lot that they can't, right? We can talk candidly about the party. We can talk candidly about people running. And that's a good thing. We need that. All right, let's transition to the next. Well, I've run through my list of things that I um am. I guess we could do like a reverse interview. Since you're a podcaster, you want to put on your podcaster pants and ask me some questions. I don't know if you've got any burning ones since the last time we've talked, but I'd be happy to do my little spiel to finish out. Um, I'll probably end up ending this here in like the next 15 minutes, so let you go a little early. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, I wanted to ask you. So, you've I think you said that as you're going out there and talking to people and campaigning, you're sort of having to prove yourself, right? Like, hey, listen, this kid's like 21 years old. Like, what the hell does he know? I mean, um, do you find is it like that with certain folks of a certain age? Is it like that with everybody? Is it party insiders you're trying to sway, people with money you're trying to convince, or
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yes and no. I think honestly, I've been around the block a couple times with some of these places that I've pretty much done it, but I haven't even started kissing the ring of the party yet. Um, I just got a meeting with Meg scheduled for Van um access with which I've been waiting for like over a month. It's been crazy. But I've met Karen. I think she knows me. She's probably been aware of me because I don't know if you follow Axios Indianapolis,
I do.
but they did a piece week or two ago about finding new recruits, and I was surprisingly name dropped.
Yeah, I
Right
did. I linked
alongside
that in the
Karen,
show
and
notes to our episode. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Okay, so Karen definitely read that, and so I think my name's out there, but I've not begun those conversations, which I know I'm gonna have, and I have to figure out how to do them. You know,
I
because
think go ahead. Yeah.
while I need the support of the party, I don't want to be tethered to the party. I want to be able to say things about the party that might not be popular,
This
and
is,
it's
there are, in the age of Trump, a lot of lessons to take from professional wrestling, of all places. And
yeah,
one thing I think, mainstream Democrats maybe, poo poo that idea, right? And listen, it is kind of ridiculous. Like, we're talking about serious policy that affects people's lives. It shouldn't be like professional wrestling, but that's what late stage American politics looks like. So you have to understand the concept of kayfabe. And, for those that don't know, it's like basically play fighting. You keep up the
yep.
act in public, even though, behind the scenes, you're best friends. Y'all are going out for
Well,
drinks afterwards, right?
yeah,
So I think,
yeah,
like, if when you're talking to folks, like, if you get the summit with Karen Talion or whatever, and just like in general, when this for Democratic leaders who may be listening, um, I think it's important that we allow candidates like Reese to be able to, you know, take some swipes at the party publicly when we and like know that we've got each other's back for real, like,
yeah,
because people need that authenticity. And if you are a straight party line kiss ass all of the time, people can smell that, you know so, like, even if you agree with the party line all of the time, sometimes you got to give token pushback just to look like you can think for yourself, you know
agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. I was talking with Thomas Horrick down in your area.
I love Thomas Horrocks. Yeah, great guy.
I don't know if he's told you this, but we were talking, and he basically was not the party's choice to run, and it's like, damn, okay, good on you for taking that in stride, but also, come on, guys. And I honestly, that's one of the reasons I jumped in so early. I jumped in to try to avoid somebody a more established getting in. And
Establish yourself first. Yeah.
who knows whether, somebody's jumping in, but I think I've cut off any of like the possible challenges that I could think of. So I don't know. It's a dirty game of politics sometimes. And sometimes the establishment's like, no, no, no. But you need to. I mean, it's a twofold, right? You need to know when to stand up and say yes, 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 and you need to know when to stand back and say, all right, I'll throw my support behind this person, but next time I'm going at it.
You get this fight within Democratic circles a lot right now. And I think party leadership, or like maybe the mainstream or centrist or whatever, they're like, hey, let's not criticize other Democrats. You know, we're all on the same team here. Let's keep a united front against Trump. And yes, yes, but also like, listen, we got a general election coming up next year. You know, we got a midterm, right? We've got primaries in May. These are the times we hash out these differences. After May, going into November, you and I hate the term circle the wagons. I could go on a rant about why it's such a, terrible term, but like, again, after May, you, you circle the wagons. But until then, we should be having these debates in public about what the direction of the party should be going forward. You right there, Reese?
Okay, let's see.
Do I need to refresh?
Oops.
All right.
I think that was not this time. I think I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Hear you. Huh.
I'm not muted. Got my video on.
Phone's plugged in. Be helpful.
Yeah? How's that? No? So I can hear you. I can hear all your stuff.
Oh, I can hear myself.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yes. The life of streaming live, man. You know?
Yep. Got used to it, but I can only hear myself again, so that's great. So yeah, we've got like 10 minutes left. You have, well, I don't know, anything you want to end on? I'll probably wrap up here in a few anyways. So anything you think is worth highlighting? Any big news? Oh, let's talk Bo Bye for a minute. Speaking of punching,
Okay. Okay. Oh,
speaking of
you want to do
punching,
this? All right. I am
I
prepared to do this.
do. I do. If you want to, I will spend a couple minutes.
So I saw Blythe Potter a couple weeks ago at an event. This is like, I think, the same weekend as the big like idea conference down in French Lick. And she had stopped here in Bloomington on the way back home afterwards because, we're between French Lick and Johnson County. And she's running for Secretary of State. She's announced she's seeking the Democratic nomination. Bo Bye is
You're gonna have
widely,
all
yeah.
over because I had another malfunction and I have switched to my just headset. So
Yeah,
I
you're good.
want Go By conversation because I think it play well. I don't want it but it plays into the conversation we were having, and um, uh, yeah, Blythe Potter is a very good friend of mine. So
Yeah, no, so I was saying, I saw her a couple weeks ago.
I've got a lot of opinions.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw her on the way up, from the French Lick IDEA conference where Bo kind of had his coming out party. He's not announced for anything yet, but I think a lot of people are pretty sure that he's also going to be running for Secretary of State next year. And I said, listen, at the very least, Indiana Democrats will have the single most attractive Secretary of State race in the country next year. Blythe and Bo are both gorgeous people, and they should
Yes.
no, seriously, save some
Yes.
for the rest of us. It's not fair. But
That's not where I
uh
thought you were going, but yes, absolutely. They are. Well, also my whole thing is I had no idea who Bo was. I knew the Bai family. Evan Bai, last Democratic governor. I
well,
didn't know
no,
who
no,
Bo
actually
was.
there have
Oh,
been two Democratic governors of Indiana since Evan Bai.
that's right.
His LG, Frank O'Bannon, who was a good governor, but he died while in office, and then Joe Kernan succeeded him. Um, but that was back in like 2003.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we've had a Democrat in the governor's mansion here in
And as
Indiana. But
long as
no,
I've been
listen,
alive. So
listen, Bo Bai, good looking kid, has the name, right? The family name.
will have that institutional support. He's already going to have 100 delegates clinched, if even, or if not
And
more.
see, now here's a problem. Listen, I don't know Bo. I don't know a damn thing about Bo, other than his name is Bai, and that I think is the problem. Like, because his father was the governor and a United States senator. His grandfather was a United States senator of some importance, and those are great. That's awesome, but like I don't think that should get you a free pass to the front of the line.
Mm-mm.
And furthermore, the like Evan Bai style third way politics is old hat, man. That's Clintonism. That is roundly rejected at this point. Like, we are not
That's like
trying to do that like
centrism,
blue dog shit.
centrism.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think
I would want to know where Bo
I'll
actually
defend my blue
stands.
dogs for just a second because I think, like, especially when you say blue dog Democrat, I think Frank Mervan.
Yep.
I know he's progressive, more progressive, but like his blood is blue. Like he came up through the unions. Yes, maybe no. I don't know his story. But
I
like
don't know Mervan's story, but I know you need union support if you're going to win in Northwest Indiana for sure. Yeah.
but like and so like I think there is a place for blue dogs. Now, is there a place for third way neoliberals who are like Israel, 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 boo, 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 Palestine. Let's work with Dick Cheney and Kissinger to solve the
Yeah.
world's problems. It's like, nah.
So yeah, I want to know what Bo's politics are. If they're like his dad's, I'm not terribly enthused. I'm not interested in Evan Bai politics. And last time he ran for statewide office against Todd Young, neither were the people of Indiana. We had seen enough. And if Bo's politics are like his granddad's, I'm a lot more interested. What I worry about is, the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton. So basically, they make clones out of the guy, and eventually you get to where you're making a clone of the clone, and
Mm-hmm.
you get uh, evolutionary quirks,
Mutations.
mutations work their way into the system, and so after a couple iterations, the clone's not as good as the original. I worry about. Listen, I'm a leftist. Nepo babies are my mortal enemy, and
Mm-hmm.
even more so than Nepo babies are Nepo babies. Like, third generation Nepo babies.
That
Like,
silver spoon, the gold spoon at that point.
listen, George W. Bush, third generation Nepo baby. Okay.
Yep.
RFK Jr., third generation Nepo baby. I'm sure we can think of some more, but I worry. Listen, a rich man's son doesn't know the average person's struggle.
Yeah.
A rich man's
mean,
rich son. Harvard. Listen, they point to his Harvard education as a strong suit. Again,
I
yeah,
point to the
like,
fact
right.
that Blythe Potter
Quality
has made
education.
a very good business out of hair, like arguably doing like hippy dippy hair and like wellness stuff. In my humble country opinion, in Bakersfield, it's like, oh shit, I'd take that over Harvard education.
Oh yeah, I mean, so yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he understands the average person's struggle. Does that matter for a Secretary of State race? I don't know. Probably not.
Yes,
Listen, it,
arguably, I think
it's
it does.
the Secretary of State's race is, about capably executing bookkeeping tasks, essentially.
Bookkeeping tasks
Fine.
and stimulating the economy. I mean, they do a lot of stuff with
They do some outreach
what's
stuff.
the
Yeah.
no what's the big thing? Excuse me. What's the big thing Holcomb set up? Granted he was the governor, but the Indiana business whatever,
Well, are you thinking of the
Indiana
IEDC? That
economic
goes,
develop yeah.
yeah, that goes back to the Mitch Daniels administration, and I don't know how
But
much
like
the Secretary of State personally has to do with that, but
but I've seen him
they are
advertise stuff
responsible
like
for,
that.
yeah, they are responsible for like business registrations,
And
and
then
yeah,
voting.
voting
That's their
most
big thing.
importantly, and
I
yes.
mean, Morales has done a couple purges already. And why purge? Because he's scared.
That's the Republican MO, for the last couple of decades has been, purge the voter rolls. They don't want people to vote. They don't want it to be easy to vote because their policies are unpopular. So, in that regard, Morales is doing his job, his assigned task within the party very well. You know, Purging the voter rolls, making it harder for people to vote. In either, you know Blythe Potter or Bo Bye's case, should they win, I think their goal should be to increase voter turnout and increase ease of access and whatnot in Indiana. And in either case, they're going to be up against a Republican legislator
Well,
or legislature for the most part, and they've got to operate within those constraints. So
yeah.
it's going to be a tricky job.
So, Blythe actually told me something or I found something out from her that I found really interesting, and I'll leave you with this, and leave the stream with this.
Yeah.
Indiana, famously like one of the last ones in the nation for voter turnout, right?
Yes.
No
Yes.
argument there. We're actually one of the top, and I can't say like I don't think we're in the top 10 or 15 for voter registration.
Mm-hmm.
Connect the dots. That just means we don't have people coming out.
Which is a different case altogether, because I guess that would negate the voter purge argument in a way. It's like, okay, well, they're still on the rolls. People are just not turning out, and I think in a lot of cases that has to do with Democrats just not filling out the ballot. Down ballot, we don't have people in every race. We don't have candidates like you talking to their neighbors and the people in their small districts, talking about their ideas and talking about democratic ideas in general and pushing turnout for the top of the ticket. And this is Democrats for far too long have relied on the top of the ticket to carry the bottom across the finish line,
It
and
needs
we
to be
should
the other way
move things
around.
the other way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see. I will say goodnight to both you and my audience there. I think what's our final at? I don't know. I think we had like 7 or 8 people tune in, which for this is kind of cool.
For they didn't you didn't even know that they were really that you were going to do this. You didn't really advertise it a whole hell of a lot, I don't
No,
think. So
just today was when I was advertising. Let's
yeah.
see, 65 views so far. So, hey, couple hours already. So, Nightman, I appreciate this. Let's talk sometime. Have fun editing, and I look forward to watching yours. Your video or your podcast, unfortunately, has yet to make it into my queue, but it's like 2 or 3 back, and so like as soon as I lose off a podcast.
Yeah, and then the thing is, it's like
Truth be
give
told,
you like another half dozen suggestions of like ones that you should listen to
yeah.
before me. But no, anyway, seriously, for those of you out there who are with us and don't know me already, I'm Scott Aaron Rogers. There's the old website right down there, whosleft.us, right below me. You follow me there, you
Yep.
subscribe. It doesn't
Yep.
cost you anything, but you can hit me with a paid subscription if you like. I always appreciate those. And same handle on the Blue Sky and the Instagram and all that jazz. Find
Yep.
me,
Get your plugs.
find other left-leaning Hoosiers and band together. Let us
Yep.
take this thing over in the future here in the next couple years.
All right, Scott. Well, you can hop off. I'm going to do my closing. So I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks, Reese. Best of luck. You always let me know how I can help out, bro.
All right. Once again, that was Scott Aaron Rogers of Who's Left, a great podcast based out of Bloomington. Again, I'm Reese Axel-Adams. I'm your Democratic candidate for Indiana State House District 53. That's the Pendleton and Greenfield New Pal area. This has been the first live stream of Politics and Poker, the Gen Z political podcast with Scott Aaron Rogers. Got a couple of events coming up, one tomorrow at the library. You can find all of my events at my website and Facebook. Then the big one I want to highlight, or 2 big ones, got an ICE protest on Falls Park on the 25th of October. And then my birthday bash is either the 4th or 5th. Right now it's set for the 5th, but we're still finalizing things. So it's either going to be the 4th or 5th at my place, and then we're going to have an after party somewhere. But yeah, my website is reese453.org. Yeah. I'll catch you later, guys. Ciao.